Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. We have a Eastport in Maine which is trying to help out alleviate some of the cruise traffic with the limits coming up in Bar Harbor, and they're having an issue with the federal government. We also have some tragic news coming out from that father of three who went overboard in Sydney, and now they're trying to kind of put the blame on something that happens every day on every cruise ship pretty much around the world. We also have the first evacuation from the Utopia of the Seas, and guess what? It doesn't even have any passengers yet. Today's video is brought to you by Private Internet Access. Since I've started being a sponsor with Private Internet Access, a lot of people have sent their messages to me how their vacation was ruined because they were hacked while on vacation. Somebody got into their accounts, they stole their credit card numbers, their accounts were blocked, they were stranded with no money, and they really do wish they had a VPN. A VPN basically hides your IP address, makes it look like you're in another country, and it protects you from hackers and would-be thieves looking to steal your personal information like your accounts, your money, your credit cards. I never travel anywhere without having a VPN running when I'm on the internet. Now, why did I choose Private Internet Access? Well, for one thing, they have a no-log policy, which means they store none of my personal information, and that's been proven in court by a third-party audit. Not only that, they let me do not 1, not 2, not 5, not 10, not 20, but unlimited devices under the same plan. So if you want to sleep securely while you're traveling and protect your information, why not follow my link down below and you can get up to 83% off your subscription plus 4 months free. And thanks again to Private Internet Access for sponsoring this video. So with Bar Harbor trying to limit passengers and the court hearings that's going on there, many cruise lines are looking elsewhere that they can stop their cruise ships during their Canadian and East Coast cruises. Well, Eastport has said, hey, we'll invest some money, and they've invested some money in their port and their dock and trying to get more cruise ships to come there. Well, they had 4 cruise ships scheduled to come this season, and the federal government has said, yeah, we don't have enough customs and border officials to actually bring in your 4 ships. We only have 1 officer assigned to that area. And they said, oh, well, do we need customs? And they said, yes, you have to have customs, but we're not going to provide you customs officers. They said, well, we're putting all this investment and all this money into being able to bring in cruise ships, but now you're saying we can't bring them in because you don't have enough federal officers to bring the cruise ships in. Even though they're planning on limiting some of the cruise ships in Bar Harbor, you would think, very close to each other, they could just spread their customs officials around a little more to help out Eastport. So now they're pressuring the federal government to say, hey, we're trying our best, and this can not only affect Eastport, but can now affect all of the state of Maine and all the shipping coming into that area because they don't have the customs officers to bring in the ships. It's a whole new twist on the cruise ship limitations that's going on. Last week I reported out on the gentleman who went overboard going into Sydney Harbor. Apparently he's a father of 3, he's a truck driver, he was on board with his mother, and they are now shedding some light. The brother is saying that some things happened on this cruise ship that he believes led to him jumping overboard on the cruise ship, and that is the predatory way that cruise ships handle their casinos. And what I mean by that is there are some very strict gambling laws in Australia. You can't offer free drinks, you can't offer bonuses, you can't offer things like that to entice people to keep spending money in the casinos. Apparently you can't advertise gambling in Australia as well. I'm not sure, I don't live in Australia, these are just the reports I'm reading out there. But if you're on a cruise ship, you know that if you spend enough money in the cruise casino, you will often get offers. They will be anything from onboard credits to a discount on your next cruise, to a free cruise if you actually keep spending enough money. And that's not necessarily even spending enough money. You can spend very little if you actually win, and they can still offer you a free cruise. It's based on playing time and things like that, not necessarily how much money you spend. However, chances are, if you're winning free cruises, you're spending quite a bit in these casinos. Well, they're pointing the finger at this, as apparently the gentleman on this 3-day cruise racked up a $5,000 casino bill on the first night. And then he borrowed the money from his mother to pay that debt. And the next day, he went back in and racked up another $4,000 debt. Now, some light has come on saying that the gentleman has also lost his father and brother recently. He's having financial troubles. He's had a broken marriage recently. A lot of things are, piling on this person and their health, their mental health. And they said the predatory way that the cruise lines can operate in international waters was very significant in putting pressure on this gentleman financially and mentally. And I know a lot of things happen, but I mean, at some point you still have to take accountability. If you rack up $9,000 in gambling in 2 days, somebody should have been keeping an eye on him. His mother was with him on the cruise. After she borrowed, $5,000, you'd think, hey, don't go back to the casino. He's a grown man. He was old enough to know better. And other things in his life also contributed to this. So it's a very sad story, but a lot of the anti-gambling associations and stuff like that in Australia are now jumping on this story, saying it was all because of this, it was all because of that. And let's face it, it wasn't only because of that. It was a ton of other things also involved. So to blame one of those things probably is not the way to go. But as all things are, the minute there's a tragedy, somebody's looking to take advantage of it for their own benefit and promote whatever they're trying to change in the world, right? And that's just the way things are. So sad news, but I honestly, at some point people really do have to take accountability for their own actions, and I'm afraid this is one of them. The Utopia of the Sea is out doing her sea trials, which she just finished, and actually had to do an emergency evacuation for a sick, injured person on board. We're not sure if it's a crew member on board or a construction worker or an engineer or somebody doing the test. We're not sure who or what the injury was, but I think it's pretty amazing that the ship isn't even sailing yet and we've had our very first evacuation. Apparently everything is going well and the person is receiving the medical care that they need. The airlift was very, very quick. So that's a good thing. But I mean, have you ever heard of a cruise ship evacuation before the ship has even set sail yet? That's a first for me. I'm kind of amazed in a way. Well, let me know in the comments down below. Do you think that the practices on cruise ships for their casinos is predatory? Or do you think it's up to us to keep track of our own spending and look after our own money? Let me know in the comments down below what you think, and I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.